medicine out of hemp, you get building material out of hemp. They're little carbon machines that go all around the planet, these things, and they clean the air for us. So our government tells us you can't grow hemp, we're gonna chop all the trees down. We're gonna chop the land up, we're gonna get coal, and we're gonna fight wars over gasoline. We're importing our gasoline. Now we have to import our hemp. I mean, of course, everybody knows George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, the founders of this country were hemp farmers. Hemp is a billion dollar crop. I buy hemp now. I'm sitting up here now because I get hemp from a company, a terrific company. Remember this name as CBD, cannabidiol, works in your brain, the receptors in your brain, in much the same way that THC does. I like the THC in the morning, the CB at night, but all day long. But it puts out my seizures. It's just like putting smoke on a fire. I have seizures that are so bad, but no more. They're under control. Sometimes it can get out of hand. Just like the young girl Charlotte, who they made a special breed of marijuana for, Charlotte's Web, high in CBD. But remember this name, it's simple, pure CBD. And why I say it's pure, it's an American company. They've been doing it for years. They were making refining and learning their technique. They use American grown hemp, and it is pure. No imported paste. They're not importing. They get special permits. National Medical Marijuana, they were called, but now it's pure CBD. Easy name to remember. Then in 1985, I myself was busted. And I went to court in Dover, the great Judge Netto. And I have 12 jurors there, and I will go into the courtroom. Mr. Kuligowski, do you swear to God to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, sir, I do. Yeah, I smoked some pot that day. I got out of work, and I went under the bridge down by the Moonsaw. I'm sure Dave Cameron knows where that is. And a cop comes out with his billy club, and I had a little aluminum smoking device, they called it, wrapped up aluminum foil with holes punched in it. So they busted me, $5 worth of pot. So Judge Netto says, so I used Irwin Raven's argument. You right of privacy in your person on your home, but you also, Congress can make no laws regarding the established religion. They cannot do that. That's the law. And they brought God's name into it before me, and there's millions of Americans being busted, thrown in jail, having their pot plants, their little carbon scrubbing machines that make you, that do more benefit to a person like me. I mean, there's no way. I climbed up the stairs getting up here. I've been hanging out here all weekend with my solar-powered booth, making Fimo clay and little pot leaves glued onto them. So, Tom Brown, Dave Cameron, Matt, I call him Matt Ottoman, Matt Husko, Laurie Morris, the incredible Erica Goddard, Galter, and New Hampshire Normal is here. Right on, man. So anyhow, the law is unconstitutional. They're bullshit. They know it, too. They know. Every one of them knows it. In Alaska, it's in the gray area. Yeah, you're in your constitutional rights to have pot for your own personal use. But we're still going to make it against the law. And if you do it, you're still a criminal. But well, it will keep the fine low. And then I went to New Hampshire after all this. So after I got busted in Dover, they said you have to take it to the Superior Court in New Hampshire. I went down, paid my fine right after I left the courtroom. Before I went to court, I got a letter in the mail that said, "Stay home, Mr. Kulagowski, forget it. And, we dropped all the charges, don't even bother." So I couldn't speak my piece there. In 1995, my son, grateful Frank Kulagowski, good kid, he got busted at the Rochester Fair. And he goes to court, and he uses the same argument, except he changed it a little bit. He says, "I am an American Indian." His mother was an American Indian. And to us, that is a sacred and holy plan. They dropped the charges against him. So they dropped the charges against Irwin Raven. They didn't give me my pot back, but they dropped the charges. So anyhow, it's unconstitutional. Remember that. If one big push, we got underneath that wagon, every time somebody gets busted, every time a policeman enforces this law, he's breaking the law. That's the law of the land. By the year 2045, humans won't be the top species on the planet anymore. Artificial intelligence is taking over. And then they would not be so stupid. It's against the law. We don't have to legalize something. It's against the law. They got to change the law or amend the Constitution. Thank you much. And Tom Brown, I don't care what Dave Cameron says, you're doing a hell of a job. And this is that's the best shakedown street I ever saw at a little festival like this. God bless y'all, and be back next year and fight it. It's against the Constitution. It's against the law. Forget setting us free. Let American farmers grow hemp. The planet needs it. Grow.